Hello, my name is Jimmy Stowe, and I'm doing General Data Protection Regulation, or GDPR, and how it relates to social media for ITEC 6240. GDPR stands for General Data Protection Regulations. These are the rules that are designed to give the European Union citizens control over their personal data. So what that does, it allows all users to control what they share or don't share when they're doing business or visiting websites or whatever in the European Union. How this works is they'll give you pop-ups. If you're on a website, there'll be a pop-up, they'll say, do you agree to share this information or that information or any information that you do or don't want to share. So for example, if you are working on a website and you have purchased some goods, and say they'll ask you, do you consent to share your information to a company or to other companies that we're going to share with? And you can say, yes, I do, or no, I don't. It's a great way for us users to have access or have control over what of our personal information. So, and it states that any business or organization in the EU has to, or that offers goods, they have to abide by this rule. And like I said, like I mentioned earlier, it works on websites as well. And that's great because where I'm focusing on this presentation is with social media, Twitter, Facebook, MySpace, things like that. And of course, social media. We all know what social media is. It's an online form of communication. Everybody has it. So you can share comments on pictures, or you can share your status update. You can tweet, "I'm at the store," blah blah blah, or favorite sports things. That's typically where I go, is mostly sports. But you have Instagram where you share just pictures, and everyone likes to take pictures of the food they're eating, or hey, I'm at the beach and this is where I'm at or what I'm doing. You should be here, blah blah blah. And so the first, kind of like the original social media was MySpace, and it was founded in 2003. I guess once it got popular, you started seeing the other social media sites come along. Facebook was the next one, and then they've kind of taken the success of MySpace and tweaked it and made it their own. And Facebook is primarily the most popular, and Twitter is really popular, obviously, because you can just kind of tweet out or get information that you want. And Instagram, which was purchased by Facebook, is basically just a picture sharing, so it's not status updates, but it's really popular as well. So the way GDPR affects social media is because of ads and marketing that is present on the websites. And the good thing with this is it is allowing the users to have control over their information even when they're not necessarily using their information or trying to put it out there. So for instance, Facebook has an ad on there that's go to a business to purchase baseball shoes, or some football cleats, and a hat or anything like that. And GDPR is making it where you have to have consent to share the information when someone is clicking on that. The good thing about this is, well, for GDPR, is it means anyone that does business with in the European Union has to abide by these rules. So even though we're in America, we don't have the GDPR regulations, but because we are working or doing things with the EU, with different sites like Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram that have the ads, we have to abide by those rules. So the GDPR inadequacies and adequacies. What's good about it is or what's bad about it is, if you're not compliant with these rules, then you don't have access or control over your information. And what'll happen is if you're not compliant and you can't work with the European Union, then you will not be able to have your websites marketing over there. So for instance, if there is some sort of good that you deal with all the time, if you have a website and you know that the European Union, that over in those guys over there, that they love this product, but you can't, if you do not abide by the rules, you can't market to them and you can't sell to them. So that basically, is taking your business. So by being compliant with GDPR, all social media sites will be able to access the European Union. They will have the sponsors. If there's something that they know is a top seller over in the European Unions, they will be able to market that because they are compliant with the GDPR rules, and that means they will be able to sell their goods and do business with the European Union. If they didn't, like I said, you're losing money. So it's not being able to have access to everywhere to do business will hurt your company. So our company, which is the new social media website that we're starting, is www.youcanseme.com. I'm the CIO, and as the CIO of youcanseme.com, I have been tasked with to ensure that our company is the most secure and trusted social media site available. And to do this, we're not only going to comply with the GDPR rules while we're doing business in the European Union, but we're going to do it in the United States and every other country that we access or that accesses our website. So that means if we're doing business with a company right down the road, we're going to comply with these rules. We want to make sure that our users know that we are not going to give their information out without their consent. We want to be trusted. We want to make sure we have a loyal fan base, and the only way to do this is to have our site be set up with the most strict rules that are out there, and we're going to follow those rules to make sure we're compliant. So as the CIO, I will have a team that is set up to have the security or be compliant with GDPR, making sure all rules and regulations are met. We're going to require consent and approval from our users from all the data that's being processed. We want to make sure that they know that we're compliant and that they can trust us. To do this, we'll ensure that all data is collected will be anonymized so that identifying particulars are removed. We do not want to take some data and say, oh, this was by Jimmy Stowe, he likes so-and-so. We don't want to do that. We want to make sure anything that is collected is not shown by anything. So it could be Jimmy Stowe loves Braves baseball hats, but it will not say Jimmy Stowe. Nobody will know that Jimmy Stowe loves Braves baseball hats. And another thing, breaches happen. It happens all the time. Even though it's a bad thing, it does happen. But the worst thing to do is to try to hide it. And you look at when Facebook was trying to cover up all of their things, and you saw Mark Zuckerberg. He was on Capitol Hill having to testify. We're not going to do that. If something happens, we will be sure to tell our users, hey, this happened. We want you to stick by us. We're working on it. We're trying to fix it. We're not going to lie. We're going to be upfront in any event that happens, and we'll let our users know that we're with them. We want them to stay with us. We want to be able to have all the users and most respected users, and our company wants to be the most respected company there is. So all data that's being transferred, it will be handled with the utmost security, and like I said, we want to make sure everyone knows that we're compliant, and we will have the same amount of security if we're working in the EU, if we're working in Canada, anywhere. We're going to be doing the same exact rules. And another thing that I want to do is I want to appoint our data protection officer that oversees the GDPR compliance regulations to work with other companies to try to encourage them to do the same. Because if we're compliant and they can see how well it's working for youcanseme.com, maybe they will also adopt these rules, so everybody will trust them, not just social media, but companies that are doing business everywhere. All companies, if it's a bicycle company, if it's a shoe company, anything. And we'll also have a protection officer and a law team on our behalf that to get all throughout there to work with all the companies to make sure all this is going through. Conclusion, GDPR, it is a major step forward for us users that not only on social media but for all over the internet. But it's given us access or control to what is accessed. We want to make sure that everyone's scared of data breaches and our information getting shared, and GDPR is definitely a way to prevent that. It's being compliant with GDPR is a law when the European Union or when doing business with the EU website. And that's the good thing for youcansee.com. We're going to be compliant no matter who we're working with, not just the European Union, everywhere. So we feel that our users will be assured that data security is to utmost important up to our company, and we want to make sure that we become the #1 social media website. And as the CIO, I will make security as the #1 priority, and by doing that, we'll use the GDPR guidelines and continue to make sure our company is secure and all data will not be shared. So thank you. I appreciate it.